Let's talk about how to pass Barclays video interview in 2022. What's up guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English here with another Pass the Interview video. Today we're going to be talking about Barclays video interview, which has been updated based upon our research for 2022. If you want to see more videos like this, we release 3 videos a week. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and drop us a comment down below and let us know what video you'd like us to do next. All our Pass the Interview videos are the same. First of all, we're going to go through 5 fast facts about Barclays. Then we're going to talk to you about the interview format that you can expect. And finally, we're going to go through 9 questions that we picked out which we thought were likely to appear and how you can go about answering them. And guys, don't forget, there's loads of free resources down in the description below, including our most popular asset, which has been downloaded thousands of times, the 28 most common interview questions. So let's get started. So we always give 5 fast facts about a company. This is a really good place to start if you're trying to prepare your why this company question. Barclays can trace its history all the way back to 1690, which is absolutely crazy. They're almost 350 years old. They have over 4,750 branches in 51 different countries. They have 5 values that all their employees follow, which are stewardship, respect, excellence, integrity, and service. Barclays supports diversity and inclusion in their employees. This is always a really important thing to look into if you're thinking about corporate social responsibility, whether that be from the point of view of gender, disability, ethnicity, LGBTQ+, or multicultural or multi-generational things that you are interested in terms of their diversity projects. And finally, Barclays has plans to invest over £150 billion in social and environmental causes by 2025. There's some pretty cool facts. If you throw that into your why this company questions, it will certainly help you stand out from the crowd. Well, the crowd who haven't watched our Pass the Interview video. Have you recently had a Barclays interview? Have you got one coming up? Let us know your thoughts, your feelings, how it went, and drop us a comment down below. So now we want to talk about the interview format. What can you expect? We're generally going through Barclays tests. All our information is taken from sources that are available around the web. This isn't what somebody's told us. This is just what people have put up through things like Glassdoor, Wikijobs, and student rooms. So you can expect the whole process to last about 6 weeks. You'll have a mixture of situational judgment tests and numerical tests, and then you can expect a 30-minute video interview, which I would suggest is about 6 questions. So we picked out 6 of the most common questions that you are likely to expect and how we would prepare for them, and also 3 other questions we came across which I thought were quite interesting and cool and were worthy of bringing to your attention. So let's jump into those 6 most common questions. Question 1, why do you want to work for Barclays? Guys, this is always going to come up. Whatever company you're going to work for, that's why we give you those 5 fast facts. Always make sure to do your homework. I guarantee you it's going to take you no longer than 15 minutes. You could look on there about us, the news, most popular news through Google. You could have a look at their annual report, their quarterly report, and you don't really need to get into the minutiae. What we're really looking for a 2 or 3 minute answer is between about 4 to 7 key facts. If you're really not sure how to put this together, make sure you check the link down in the description below for the Job Ready English store, where we've got motivational question scripts. We also cover this in great detail in another course, how to write better cover letters. But really, it's not that difficult. You could pick out a financial fact, you could pick out corporate social responsibility, projects, clients, news, new business opportunities, and so on and so forth. 4 to 7 facts. Try and personalize it. It's really good if you can pick something out which means something to you and that you can relate to in some way. The only reason why I say that is if you don't do that, it just kind of sounds like you're reading out a list of random facts and it sounds a little bit weird. So you can list out those facts and then start trying to repeat your answer and build in some personality into it. Another really quick tip, don't do facts that you don't really understand. Just do something that resonates with you, and that's as simple as it can be. So 4 to 7 facts about Barclays. You'll be golden, and make sure they're unique to Barclays. Not just it's a big bank, it's a multicultural bank, it's an exciting opportunity, blah, blah, blah. because people are going to hear that answer all the time. Question number 2, why do you want to work in this role? So whether you be working in finance, structured trading, prop trading, research, risk, equity capital markets, whatever it is when you're applying to Barclays, make sure that you really understand the job description. A little bit of a hint about Barclays, whenever we've helped clients applying to Barclays and going through that process, I know for a fact that the job description isn't particularly helpful. It's quite vague and it's very salesy, like, you know, achieve your dreams and technology at Barclays. And then it's like 3 sentences and apply for the job. So when you come across stuff like this, it's really easy. Just look up technology graduate role and go and find a job description at another company so you can find out the answers, the research that's really going to help you for the 2 questions that you need to answer in this question, which is, what are you going to do day to day? What's going to be your day-to-day tasks, your 9 to 5? Who are you going to interact with? What sort of projects would you do? And the second part of that question, what makes you great for this role? What makes you different from your competitors, from other people? What are the skills that you have? And you really want to match these skills to the job description. They could be soft skills like leadership, interpersonal skills, communication, or they could be hard skills, technical skills like Excel, Python, C++, CFA candidate, CFA level 2 candidate, whatever it is that they may be. But it all starts with good research and it all starts with a job description to really nail the answer to this question. Question 3, what are your strengths and weaknesses? This is quite a difficult question to answer in a couple of minutes. The reason being is the common mistake that I see candidates make is that they'll try and list out 5 strengths and then they'll forget about their weakness. They basically list out too many things. I'd say if you had 2 or 3 minutes to answer this question, 1 or 2 strengths will do. That should be absolutely fine. You want to think about what are the key capabilities, the key strengths for this particular role. Is it being analytical? Is it being forthright in your communication? Is it having really great interpersonal skills? Another way to look at that is to kind of flip it or reverse the problem and just say, what skills could I not, would be, if I didn't have these skills, it would be impossible to do this job well. So what you're looking at when you talk about your greatest strength, very quickly look for proof. So if you have great interpersonal skills, is it because you've been the president of society? If you have great analytical skills, is that because you carried out a project where you had to do a complex data analysis of 30,000 rows of data in Excel? But make sure that there is proof to your skills. It's super important. Very often people are like, I'm good at this and I'm good at that and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yeah, but where's the proof? It's like saying you're an astronaut. The next thing I'm going to say is, well, where did you go? Can I see a picture? When it comes to the weakness, I know that this is a question that a lot of people struggle with. We do have an in-depth video which talks about what is your biggest weakness and sort of the strategies to use to answer this question. But in short, a weakness should be something that is fixable and also has a lesson involved when you're delivering this weakness. And what I mean by that is, what you're really looking to do is, so your biggest weakness could be at times, I have been disorganized. For example, in my last project at school, I almost failed because I didn't manage to organize my time effectively. As a result, I learned from this experience. I made sure that I planned out the project effectively, that I had blocked out chunks in my calendar, that I was quite mindful around the time that I was spending out with my friends or at my part-time job. And this time around, I managed to complete all my exams and score over 70%. The reason why I say that is that very often candidates will give weaknesses which are basically a bit like they'll go like, oh, I try too hard, I can't say no, I'm a workaholic. That could be true, but it's a little bit of a cop-out, right? Or they're gonna give like awful weaknesses like I'm often late, I hate people, or something like that. That's probably not good as well. Something a little bit middle of the road that's just a bit human. And a good way to think about this is, you know, what's a big challenge that I faced recently? What's something that has really forced me to learn about myself? You know, for example, if I think about it personally, something I'd struggled with for a long time is organisation and time management. That's something that I consistently came back to over and over again. Doesn't make me a bad person, doesn't make me a bad business owner or content creator. It just makes me somebody who's really busy and has to be quite efficient in how he spends his time, how he plans his time, and also saying no to a lot of things is of course really, really useful. Don't overthink this question. If you need be, write out a couple of different weaknesses. That should be good. Next, tell me about a time that you solved a problem creatively. This is often confused, and sometimes people really struggle with, tell me about a time that you showed innovation. Creatively is just essentially where you deviated from the norm. It could be that, say for example, you're working in a group of people and you can't get hold of somebody who's in the team, and then you go around to their dorm and you knock on their door and you're like, hey, are you okay? Like, I've been trying to message you for 3 days and I haven't heard anything back from you. So if it's creatively, it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's just about, well, I've tried this way and it didn't work, and now I've tried that way and it did work. That's a creative way to solve a problem. Tell me about a time that you worked well in a team. Of course, teamwork is a classic question. You work in a lot of big companies now. You tend to work in small, very focused teams on a sort of individual function or sub-function. So it's really important that you can work well as a part of a team. Generally, something to think about here is you really want to make sure as much as possible that you're trying to order your answers in terms of, well, can I demonstrate this at work? Can I demonstrate this volunteering? Can I demonstrate this in extracurricular activities? Academic tends to come last, only because if I'm applying for a job, then I want to give relevant experience where I've also worked in a job. It doesn't have to be in the same industry. It could be you working at McDonald's. It could be you being a barista. It doesn't really matter, but you want to give somewhere where it's like, well, I'm being paid to do stuff, and I've demonstrated being able to have these skills of maybe people that I wouldn't normally associate with or work with. And just thinking about the importance of teamwork, whether that be communication, resolution skills, being able to listen, being able to follow through, get the task done, help others. And finally, what is the biggest challenge that you faced? Now, many students that I speak to, because we speak to a lot of international students, the biggest challenge tends to be coming and studying in a different country. But this could be a competition, it could be an exam. It should also be something that you're personally proud of and really resonates with you. A lot of times I can hear candidates' answers, and they're what I call people pleaser answers. So they'll say, oh, when I was working at this place and I got a report done. I'm like, dude, that's not your greatest achievement. That's you saying what you want me to hear. Like, tell a story that really resonates with you and really moves you. And if anything, kind of change the way that you look at the world, because you thought, holy crap, like I actually can do it. I'm actually pretty cool at whatever it is. Like, don't undersell yourself and don't feel like it has to be something from work or from school. It could be something that you did in your personal time. It could be a move. It could be a piece that you wrote. It could be playing the saxophone in front of a group of people. Whatever it is, make sure that it rings true and it resonates with you personally, because if you're inspired and emotional about your greatest achievement, that will come across in your video. The same if you're bored and disinterested. So 3 other questions to look at. Tell me about a time you failed and what you learned from it. This is a great question, which is what I call a negative question or a question with a lesson. So when we're looking at this question, the negative question is essentially like, tell me about a time you failed. I've never failed. Come on, really? Everyone's failed. Everyone's fallen short of the mark. Whether that be in their expectations or their results. Again, try and choose a failure that's not horrific or criminal, or some sort of something like, oh, I made a terrible mistake. I turned up to work and I was drunk. Probably not a great thing to do. But the real point of the matter is, it's not the failure itself, it's what you learn. It's what you take away from that, whether you failed an exam, whether you missed a deadline, whether you got really bad feedback on a report that you wrote. It's like, okay, cool. This thing has happened, so what did you learn from that? What can you use to kind of feed the fire in your belly to go out and sort of say, yeah, and then I did this, and then I asked for help from this person, I did this research, or I make sure that I put more time in, or I was more organized. And then that's a time that you overcame that failure and what you learned from it. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Generally, the textbook answer to this question is always, we're here, and in some form of management position. That tends to be a reasonably easy one to answer. It might be managing clients, it might be specializing in a particular industry or sub-industry, it might be working abroad, always here, always at the company that you're applying to. And finally, tell me about a time when you had to multitask. This is something that we've all gone through, whether it be exams, working, balancing studies, personal life and work, or something like that. Just be really clear in the task that you had to do. what the task included and what the timelines were. Try not to overcomplicate it. Sometimes people talk about multitasking, like they'll give 15 different things. One of them's like, oh, and I really had to go to the shop to buy a sandwich. I'm like, dude, seriously? Like an actual task, not like you managed to feed yourself. That's not a consummate achievement, okay? Guys, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video about Barclays video interview in 2022. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop us a comment down below. Have you got an interview? Do you have an interview coming up? Do you just hate Barclays? We seem to get that all the time. People will be like, I hate Barclays. I hate this bank. They were really mean to me. I'm like, dude, it's an interview channel. Why are you complaining to me? What the hell? Anyway, good luck. Bye.